Square Enix delivered on offering another great booth experience for fans at Tokyo Game Show 2025. They brought a really solid lineup of games, they had a lot of great photo spots, looks at upcoming merch, and more here. And not only that, but they gave fans in Japan a chance to check out several games for the first time on Switch 2, the ROG Xbox Ally X, and more. Let's go ahead and get into the games and everything else in between. Here we go. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to sub, all that type of stuff. Sign off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Of course, this can be found in written form over on our website, thefamicast.com. Special shout out to our patrons for their support. Today, we're taking a look at some of the awesome games, goodies, and just the general booth that Square Enix had at Tokyo Game Show 2025. Taking a look at Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on ROG Xbox Ally X, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined and some of the stuff they brought for that, and a whole lot more. To kick things off here, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade was in the house at Tokyo Game Show 2025 Square Enix's booth on both the Nintendo Switch 2 and ROG Xbox Ally X. Now, of course, being mainly a Nintendo-focused channel, I was hoping to get to try the game out on Switch 2. Unfortunately for me, Square Enix basically just filters folks into whichever demo unit is available. So after about an hour and a half wait or so, I got in to play the game, and I was directed to an ROG Xbox Ally X. You know, initially I was a little bit disappointed, but, you know, honestly, it was a great chance to check out this new handheld for myself. As for the form factor, the first thing I noticed was how massive this thing was. I don't really have small hands per se. I mean, they're not big, just normal, I guess. But the system just seemed way too big for what I look for in a handheld device. So your mileage will vary on that. If you have bigger hands or you looking for something a little bit more chunky, I think this might feel good to you. I thought the just overall, just like the feel of the controller itself, like the grips and all that, that felt really nice. So yeah. But even with all this said, I did think that Final Fantasy VII Remake ran really nicely on this new hardware. There were a few options with the demo. You could start from the beginning of the game, you can explore a section of Midgar, or you can take on the game's first boss, the Scorpion Sentinel, which is what I chose. I probably should have just stuck with one of the other two options just so I could take in the game's visuals, but I digress. I still could get an idea of what we can see on Microsoft's new handheld here. Character models here were extremely detailed. I thought the lighting effects were great, and the environments just looked fantastic. The game did appear to be running at 30 frames per second, which might disappoint some of you guys out there. Still, the ROG Xbox Ally X, I think it's a legit way to experience this game, and I'm glad I got to play it. Now, how the system will fare in Japan is another story. Given the size of the device, the high asking price, especially compared to the Switch 2, it's more than 2 times the price. And I think the general unfamiliarity with the Xbox brand, I think the system is going to be a hard sell in Japan regardless of its technical prowess. Now, one other thing here, fans that checked out Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on the show floor could receive an exclusive card case for their Magic the Gathering cards if you play that, or just keep the case. It wasn't the greatest freebie I've ever received from a game demo or anything like that, but it's an interesting novelty to add to my collection. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Now, unfortunately, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined was not playable to the general public or to people on business days at the Tokyo Game Show 2025 show floor. Even with that said, Square Enix did bring 2 really awesome things along to share with the fans. The collector's edition of the game and the figurines that were used to create the in-game models for the game. Now, the collector's edition is actually pretty impressive itself for the game. It comes with this big Smile Slime plushie, a steelbook case, and this really cool looking ship in a bottle featuring all the main characters. I think, as cool as that is, I think the real star of this segment of the booth are these figurines. Now, it's incredible just how much detail went into these. Now, not only that, these things are actually quite a lot larger than I imagined. I thought maybe they'd just be, you know, maybe about as big as your hand or something like that. But man, these things are roughly like a foot tall, maybe 30 centimeters or something like that. So it was crazy just to go from seeing the trailer for the game a few weeks before and also seeing some of the gameplay that was shown off like on stage, and then going to see these physical creations right in front of my face. I mean, seriously, these were absolutely fantastic. Of course, like I mentioned, the company did end up showing some Dragon Quest VII Reimagined off during a stage show, and I think it looks super impressive. I really like this visual style that the game brings to the table, as it's quite unique when compared to other titles in the series. I'm not sure if I'll pick it up just at launch, but I do like what I see up to this point. So on top of these two pretty big titles from the company, several other games were also present on the show floor, including Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Adventure of Elliot, and a few others here as well. Now on top of the games, the booth had several other highlights, including free Boss Quest, Dragon Quest III themed canned coffee, the photo spots for Tactics. There was a photo spot for Final Fantasy XIV, this huge chocobo, and then this meet and greet with the Dragon Lord, which he wasn't looking my way when I was trying to take pictures. I mean, I got to get some of this coffee. This was actually kind of cool. It's actually already on sale here in Japan. Not just one flavor, a bunch of different flavors. Yeah, so this year it was a really fun booth and always filled to the brim with people while I was there. But it was just a really good time. Square Enix had another great booth at Tokyo Game Show 2025. There were both a variety of games and attractions for fans of the company's deep library of games to enjoy. I was really glad to actually be able to check out Final Fantasy VII Remake on the ROG Xbox Ally, and also I was really happy to get a super close-up and personal look at those Dragon Quest VII Reimagined figurines. Seriously, those things are awesome. The rest of 2025 leading into 2026 is shaping up to be very exciting for Square Enix fans. But let's go ahead and turn things over to you guys. What do you think about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on both the ROG Xbox Ally and the Nintendo Switch 2? Are you looking forward to Dragon Quest VII Reimagined? Sound off with any and all comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this one a like. Now, if you feel that we earned it, consider dropping us a sub here. Now, for more from Tokyo Game Show 2025 and our coverage here, keep it locked to the Famicast on YouTube or our website, thefamicast.com, where you can also find our bi-weekly podcasts, reviews, looks at games like these, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thank you guys so much for checking this one out, and we'll catch you later.